Well, there it is. Hello there, and welcome to Hearthstone Opening Packs Edition. 250 plus cards. There's going to be a lot of these to go through, and the only pre-purchasing I did was of the latest expansion, Whispers of the Old Gods, where I got 60 packs or something like that for 40 quid or whatever the offer was. I think it's £35. Otherwise, all 251, well, the ones minus the 60 or so that you get with the pre-purchase have basically been earned over time through gold that I've earned through doing quests and through basically just playing the game since the last time I did a pack opening. I'm quite good at hoarding, as you can see. I haven't opened any of the cards since I got them last, since I did my last pack opening. So for your pleasure, hopefully, we're going to have 250 plus. That's 251 cards to go through. 67 Classic, 30 Grand Tournament, and 154 of the latest expansion, which should be enough to get me a couple of legendaries. I imagine that will be quite useful in ladder, so I don't rage too much and don't get stuck. And I can get my rank 5 and get my bonus goodies. So we're going to go through this quite quickly because there's so many. When I get to the old gods, I'm going to slow down a little bit and analyse the cards because I haven't seen all of them myself. But as for the first two pack openings, I'm just going to go through it very quickly and pretty much just pay attention to the legendaries. I've got pretty much every card there is anyway, I think, so we'll see. Alright, let's go. Start us off with a good one. Okay, that's pretty good, yeah? That's all we want to hear is epic, legendary. You're just going to see a lot of flashing. You're going to be very quick here, people. See if you can spot what I'll get him. Pressing spacebar certainly helps for opening these packs. You don't want to be doing this manually for all of these. And the best thing about opening all of these packs is I'm going to get so much dust so that if I don't get any good cards from the Old Gods expansion, which with 154 cards, I think I would have got one or two good packs. You know, hopefully it's not too laggy actually. I'm a bit worried about it being super laggy for you guys, but you know, I assume it's going well. Yeah, as I was saying, with 154 cards, I imagine I would get some good ones, but if I don't, I'm going to have a hell of a lot of dust. This is quite fun actually, just literally just hearing him go, epic, rare, golden legend. No, he hasn't got to that point, has he yet? No golden legendary yet. It might be a bit laggy. It won't be so laggy when, Whoa. I'm not even sure if I have Deathwing. Okay. That's a good one to have. Although, isn't he changed now? Isn't there an Old Gods version of Deathwing? I thought. So I'm a little confused about that because I heard about this other Deathwing card that sort of brings all the dragons onto your deck. But yeah, Deathwing's a cool card. Hard to make work, but a cool card nonetheless. Yeah, doing tavern brawls and pretty much whenever you get a Hearthstone quest, I always cancel it if it's like a 40 gold one or a 50 gold one and try to get a 60 gold one. Little things like that will just go a long way in the long run to getting you a good chunk of gold. Because before I spent it all on packs so I could do this opening for you, I had 9,105 gold. It's a shame I couldn't get to the whole 10k amount, but yeah. You can build up the gold as long as you're not touching it. Like, one of the worst ways to go through gold is doing arena, okay? Because what will happen is you'll have one bad arena run, and you'll go, well, that was rubbish. I'm going to do another one now. Hey, I've got that one. That's a good one, though. Gromosh Hellscream. But yeah, you have one bad run, and you go, well, okay, I want some revenge. And you have another bad run, and you're like, well, this is ridiculous. Okay, no, I have to get some good cards. And I've been there and done that, and I've spent like, you know, 450 golden arenas before and got like virtually nothing back from it apart from the packs that you get. There's something very funny about this. It's so flashy. I think Hearthstone, Blizzard really nailed it with the pack openings. Like, when you look at Overwatch, it's nowhere near as good when you're opening up your boxes. You've got loot boxes in Overwatch where you can get skins, emotes, players' phrases that you can optimize, all kind of things like that. But it just, on this you just hover over it. You can see everything very clearly. It's so flashy. It's just visually beautiful. And Overwatch, they kind of make it look pretty good, but it seems a bit tacky in comparison. Like, Blizzard really outdone themselves with the pack opening in Hearthstone. Can't believe it. We're actually only halfway through on these packs. I mean, just the classic packs. This is going to take for frickin' ever. The good thing about those epics is they should disenchant for quite a heavy amount whenever I get those. Typically, epics aren't always necessarily that good. You know, you can have common cards or rare cards that are better quite easily. But the epic ones are going to... yeah. It's going to disenchant quite nicely. You know what? I should have actually looked at how much dust I've got. I can do that right at the very end of the video. So look at how much dust I've got and then see how much dust I can get after disenchanting cards that I currently already have. I might be able to, with enough dust, forge myself the Golden Jiraxis. That was a big point of contention in the last pack opening. I was just waiting to get Golden Jiraxis. It could happen with this. I got 22 cards or whatever it is to go through. 24. Golden Jiraxis. Now, I believe that there is an algorithm to some rough degree with Hearthstone where roughly every 40 packs you open, you will get a legendary. That's not a guarantee, but the... oh my goodness. Yeah, the way it kind of works is it's... what's it? It's like a pity timer. I think that's the phrase for it. It's a pity timer. So if you open up a pack and you don't get anything good from it, the next pack you get will have like an extra 1% chance to get something good from it. And then the next pack will have another... and again, if you don't get anything good. So every time you don't get something good, you get like an extra 1% until eventually it hits 100%. That's kind of how a pity timer works. At least I think that's a probable way to explain it. You got a Golden Jirax. Nat Pagel. Yeah, that was old school Hearthstone. I don't think Nat Pagel's all that hot anymore. So, Ruffle90 has a Golden Jiraxis. That's... I can make my own, mate. I'll make 2 Golden Jiraxises. Why not? It won't let me, but I'll try. I'll probably have enough dust to do it. What you kind of need is a way to zoom out, because at the moment you can see 5 packs very clearly. What if you could zoom out and see 20 packs, so you open 4 packs at the same time? For those moments, for those rare moments when someone has 250 cards or packs to open. 250 cards, it's actually 250 times 5. So I should have 1,255 technically. If my math is done correctly and it's done live, which is always a dangerous thing to do. I'm sure someone will correct me otherwise. Molten Giant's at 25 mana now. Does hurt me a little bit. 2 weapons. Ysera, that's a really good one. I've got that. To be fair, I'm not even... I think I probably would have crafted Ysera. Like, there were some cards that were so good, you just had to craft them, basically. Just got a Steam message from Dank Gnome saying he loves the channel, and my newest Fuck Overwatch video made him laugh. So thanks very much for that. Yeah, I had fun doing it. Alrighty. Wow, that one really exploded, didn't it? That was bursting. Case of the blue balls there. We're moving on to Grand Tournament now. There's probably a few epics or legendaries that I haven't got from Grand Tournament. The main important one I think that was well worth crafting was Justica Trueheart for Warrior. Specifically, so ridiculously good for Warrior, that card. Have I got King Crush? Yes, I believe so. I haven't got a golden one, no. We're getting closer and closer to the old god packs. What I'll do is in the video description below, in case you probably couldn't have already told or looked, I'll just basically put in timestamps for potential amazing cards, as well as just packs, pack types, a classic or grand tournament, or you know, the Whispers of the Old Gods, Whispers of the OG. Okay, 20 left on these. This is how you do it. You spend months waiting, and you just do it all in one go. Whispers of the OP. Yeah, I think I agree with that actually. Yeah, I had to play a few games today to get those extra old god packs. Like when you first log in on release, you have a quest to win 2 standard games where people now have the old god cards, and then when you complete that quest, once you've won twice, you get a quest to then win 5 more times. So the first quest will give you 3 packs, and then the second quest will give you 5 packs. Or is it 2 packs and then 5 packs? So something like 7 extra packs. And I did that with some sort of like rubbishy classic kind of beast druid, because I didn't want to use any old god cards because I haven't done any opening, and I wanted to keep it that way and see if I could just win the quests that way. I got there in the end, thankfully. I've got no legendaries from this. Now, one thing you could do, if you really wanted the min-max, is, as I was saying, is roughly every 40... yeah, golden legendary. That's gonna be nice. Thanks, Chillmore. That will go well with my dragon deck. Deathwing dragon deck. So I was gonna say, yeah. Oh god, it's not even letting me go any further now. Oh wait, there we go. Thank goodness for that. It's my fault. It said, "Look, mate, you've had enough." It's like an alcoholic at a pub. Look, this is your last one. You're no more. So I was going to say, roughly every 40 packs you get a legendary. So what you would kind of do is open, say, 30 packs. And if you hadn't got a legendary by 30 packs, then start opening the old god packs for like 10 to 15 until you get that legendary. Then go back to doing like the classic or the grand tournament ones that you don't necessarily care so much about.
Righto.
But as you can see, I'm not worried about that. I'll just open them up in OCD order, because that will satisfy me more, to be honest, than taking a chance. Never been one to depend too much on luck. Do I like gold cards? Oh wow, I don't think I've actually got that one. So that's pretty nice, actually. Not sure if she's going to be useful in the meta, but I definitely haven't got that one. Yeah, golden cards, like, I try not to disenchant them, but if there's a card that I really need that's very practical and useful on the ladder right now, I'll happily just disenchant a bunch of gold cards to get the dust to then craft it. But if it's something like a golden Jiraxis or something super special like that, I probably wouldn't disenchant it, just because it's so hard to get that otherwise. Ugh. This is it now. We are moving onto the old gods, and we're starting off with an epic Eternal Sentinel. Ah. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals. Invest. Give your minions money. No, that's because I can't say invest properly because of my accent. Your minions death rattle. Add a random beast to your hand. Oh, that's the good one, isn't it? Ravaging Ghoul. So that's for those patron warriors out there after losing their unstable Ghoul to some degree, or the Death Bite, because you no longer have Naxxramas packs. Faceless Summoner. Summon a random free cost minion. Woo. That's pretty good tempo right there. And that's for Mage, so sure, they needed that. Darkshire Alchemist. Restore 5 health. A 5/4/5. 5 health. So it's 1 mana card, all in 1 card. It's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. That can certainly swing the tempo, but you have to already be in a position where you're winning to kind of get that. So I will go through these packs relatively quickly, and we'll get quicker and quicker as we come across the same cards, because that's bound to happen. For example, that. I won't need to cover over that. But ones that I haven't necessarily seen before, I'll give them a little description, my thoughts, and that way you can gauge my opinion and maybe let me know what you guys think as well. So, Forlorn Stalker, Battlecry, give all Death Rattle minions in your hand +1/+1, 4/2. I know that the Hunter deck, Blizzard have been focusing on trying to make the Hunter sort of like mid-range / even late-game Death Rattle minions. Real focus. And this card would help with it, but I'm not sure if it's too slow for Hunter and too vulnerable. But to be fair, the mid-range Hunters do go a little bit slower anyway, so... South Sea Squidface. Oh my god, what a reference to Pirates of the Caribbean too. Death Rattle, give your weapon +2 attack. That's just a pretty damn good card, I think, overall. It's a real threat, especially since the rogue weapon can have 2 charges on it. So that's pretty neat. When I look at that, I think, man, I don't want to have to kill that card. Unless you in the perfect situation where the rogue doesn't have a weapon, but most likely they'll set themselves up so they do. Spawn of the Zoth, 3 mana, 2/2. Death Rattle, give your minions +1/+1. Is that the minions on the board, I suppose? I don't know, that's too slow. And you'd have to fill the board up and no one's going to kill it because it's not got a taunt on it. If it had a taunt or something, it might be useful for that because then it forces the opponent to kill it and then buff up the other minions. So I'm not sure about that. Shadow Word Horror. Destroy all minions with 2 or less attack. 4 mana. That seems bad to me, but maybe that ends up being the best card ever, but that seems bad. Hooded Acolyte, whenever a character is healed, give your Kifon. Oh my goodness, I forgot how to say Kifoon. There we go. +1/+1 wherever it is. So whenever a character is healed, a 4 mana 3/6. That's really good. That's pretty damn good, especially for those real stall priests. Yeah. Squirming Tentacle for 3 mana, 2/4. Taunt. Better than the Silverback Patriarch or Matriarch, whatever it's called, which is a 1/4 taunt, so that's power creep. Validated Doomsayer. 5 mana, 0/7. At the start of your turn, set this minion's attack to 7. Huh. Would anyone play a 5 mana 0/7 though? I don't know that that's just really bad or not. I'm sure someone's going to make that work, but... Okay, we've done that. Invest. Aberrant Berserker. Enrage. +2 attack. A 4 mana 3/5. It's not bad. And I'm sure people can make it work, especially with like Mad Bomber decks. Things that can do random damage amongst your creeps might be able to do the trick there. Bilefin Tide Hunter is another case of power creep, because it's the Tide Hunter that has been corrupted, and it's a Battlecry summon a 1/1 ooze with taunt, so it's a 2 mana 2/1 that summons a 1/1 with taunt. Now it did exactly the same thing before, where it summoned a 1/1, but it didn't have a taunt. But I suppose it summons an ooze with a taunt, which isn't technically a Murloc, so if you're building a specific Murloc deck, it might not necessarily benefit from that. But I'd still say that's a power creep. 8 mana, 6/10. Eldritch Horror. I'm not sure if 6 damage is too low though for 8 mana. It's only because I understand the reason is it's outside of the range of Big Game Hunter, but Big Game Hunter isn't so much of a problem anymore now that it's 5 mana. So maybe that's not that great, that card. It's probably too slow. Rather just have a 6 mana Ogre for 6 damage and 7 health. Journey Below, 1 mana, discover a Death Rattle card. It's kind of weak, really, but I suppose if you got nothing else. Plus, it's also, I suppose because it's for Rogue, they need cards to then, you know, because if they make a move, then their next move will get a benefit from them doing a move in the first place. That sounds like a terrible way to describe it, but it makes sense in a Rogue. If it was just a neutral card, that would be quite bad, because if all of it's doing is just getting a Death Rattle card, it's not that amazing. But it will be very good for Rogue, I think, that one. Good start as well. Stormcrack, 2 mana Shaman card. Deal 4 damage to a minion. Overload 1. So that's Lightning Bolt, but it can only hit a minion and does 1 extra damage because of it. In fact, it's 2 mana though. Lightning Bolt is 1 mana, isn't it? So, I don't know if anyone's going to want that one. Shadow Strike, 3 mana Rogue card. Deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. That's pretty good, because the vast majority of cards are going to have 5 health at most. At most. And most of those cards are 4 mana or 5 mana cards. So I think that is a really strong card. You're going to get at least 1 to 2 mana value trade from that. 3 mana, 3/4, a Twilight Elder. At the end of your turn, give Kifoon +1/+1. That's fine, really, because it's a 3 mana 3/4. I mean, cards have gone up in power a little bit more now, but that's still valuable. 3 mana 3/4 is not bad stats. 3 mana 2/2 is definitely bad stats, but the battle cries deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Again, that purely comes down to how much of a problem aggro is. And I think the game's going to be slowing down, so I feel like cards like that are just too little too late. Okay, now it's definitely glitched, because I actually can't click on these cards. There we go. It's caught back up again. So the Dusk Boar is a new one. 2 mana 4/1. So that's a power creep, isn't it? Somewhat, almost. There's the Magma Rager that's 3 mana 5/1, and the Ice Rager or something like that's 3 mana 5/2. So the 2 mana Dusk Boar for 4/1 is... It's not necessarily a power creep, but it's definitely a all-in kind of card. It's pretty good, that, actually. I think that's underrated. Someone's going to have to do something to trade with it, and as long as they're spending more than 1 mana to deal with it, it's kind of made money, or it's at least gone even. If someone's spending a Frostbolt on that, they spend 2 mana on a Frostbolt to kill your 2 mana thing, so that seems alright with me. Twisted Worgen, 2 mana 3/1, but it's got stealth. I don't like that so much. But then again, 3 damage does make a big difference to 2 damage, which is what the 1 mana version has. So being able to take out a minion, I don't know. 4 mana Shifting Shade, so 4/3. Death Rattle, copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. That's a Death Rattle effect, so it's kind of like Fort Steel, or half of a Fort Steel. Probably going to be played, I imagine, a fair bit, because it just gives Priest more control. It's like Discover, more ways to lengthen the game, but it's not ideal for healing. 1 mana Tentacle of N'Zoth, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. Cards like this are just, in my opinion, really good. Like, it's 1 mana. It's going to do 1 damage at the very least, and then it's going to do 1 damage to everything on the board. So if you're building a slow deck, there's no reason to really not have a card like that, I suppose. Apart from the fact that if you get it towards the end, it's going to suck. But it's super valuable for 1 mana, what you're getting. How many legends have I got already? I don't know. I think probably about 4, 5 maybe. From the other packs. I've got none so far. Ha. I got none so far from the old gods. So now we've got the Carrion Grub, which is a 3 mana 2/5. I've seen a lot of hunters, when I was playing my games earlier, use the guy, the Worgen. I can't bloody remember his name, but he's the guy that buffs a beast by 2/2, so it gives it an extra +2/2. So this turns from a 2/5 to a 4/7, which is very, very good stats. So good synergy there, which is what they've been using it. So it has good potential for that. 4 mana, oh my goodness, that's horrible. Cyclopean Horror. It's a 4 mana 3/3 with a Taunt and a Battle Cry. Gain +1 health for each enemy minion. Wow, that's pretty good versus Sue. Or is it better than the Tusker that gives you 4 health as a Battle Cry? It gives 4 health to both heroes for 4 mana, and it's a 3/5. So that's questionable. 1 mana, Evolve, Shaman card. Transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 more. Transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 more. That seems like a no-brainer. Does that count for totems as well? I'm not sure. If that counts for totems, that's pretty ridiculous. Like, that is super overpowered if that counts for totems. If it doesn't, it's still pretty freaking good, in my opinion. There's a lot of cards that can just flood the board these days. And that's 1 mana. And there's no overload with it either. That seems really good. Like, that's a really good reason to start playing Shaman. That card alone, to be fair with you. Oh, sorry, Rolf. You can't really link at the moment. It won't let you. Okay, Cafoon's chosen. 4 mana, 4/2. Divine Shield. Battlecry, give your Cafoon +2/+2. So basically it's a 4 mana, 4/2 with Divine Shield, which is... yeah. But because it gives Cafoon a buff as well, it kind of makes it somewhat valuable. But it might be too slow, depending on what way you're going. Wow, Divine Strength is a core of this. Give a minion +1/+2 for 1 mana. That's pretty good. It's essentially a 1 mana... no, I don't know. Is it actually that good? It works with Sefer. What's his name? The genie that basically copies whatever buff you put on a random minion and puts it on himself. Give a minion +1/+2. That's very good for trades, but you kind of have to be a little bit ahead as well in the first place, and it uses up a whole card, so I'm not sure if I like that or not. 5 mana Corrupted Healbot. Death Rattle restores 8 health to the enemy hero. So it's a 5 mana 6/6. And Priest could still use that offensively if they manage to get the Orkanite Shadow Priest out and kill it correctly, but I think people will play that anyway just as part of a risk. Because it's just so powerful. 5 mana 6/6. Can't be big game hunted. It's going to trade with pretty much most things twice. Going to get a lot of value out of that. And it's for all classes. Okay, 8 mana. Doomcaller. 7/9. Battlecry. Give your Cafoon +2/+2 wherever it is. If it's dead, shuffle it into your deck. So you can resurrect Cafoon. And get him back. Which is going to be pretty crazy. That's a really good card. It's a super slow card, so agreeable that it might not be useful at all if you can't get it to work, but potentially, depending on how slow the meta is now, that could be very good. 2 mana Shatter. Destroy a frozen minion. So that could combo with Ice Lance and kill anything. So you essentially got a 3 mana, one kill. One shot. But will you have that and an Ice Lance in your hand for a big minion later on in the game? Depends how many spells mages can pull up. Okay. Demented Frostcaller, 4 mana, 2/4. After you cast a spell, freeze a random enemy. That's obviously good for control mages, maybe freeze mages, but it's super slow. It's like a worse Flame Waker. It's 1 more mana, and it doesn't attack twice. It doesn't even do damage, it just freezes. But freeze could also potentially be stronger, depending on who you're playing against. I'm not sure if that will see play, though. It depends how slow the mage deck can afford to be. Twilight Flame Caller, we've already done him. Okay, Primal Fusion, Shaman card, 1 mana. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. Typically, you might have 2 totems out. If you're lucky, 3. So if you're in a good position already in 2, you're going to get 2/2 out of a 1 mana, which is good. But to have 2 totems, again, it's a card that you're already winning if you've got that card. You have to be already winning. So, Right, we're getting to the part where we're seeing a lot of these now. 3 mana, Amgam Rager. A 1/5! Ha! That's pretty cool. Like, you might go, what? A 3 mana 1/5? But it's cool that it's a Rager that's the opposite. So instead of high damage and no health, I reckon people might try to make that work. Like, if you had a Priest... I suppose they could do it with other cards, but, you know, buff up the health and then make the attack damage the same as the health. That might be incredible, or it might be just absolutely useless. I'm going to go with mostly absolutely useless, but I like to see if there's a chance for that to be good at some point. It's just some people are going to get killed by that somehow. You know it's going to happen. Tentacles for arms. That's pretty powerful. 5 mana. Okay, Death Rattle. Return this to your hand. So it's 5 mana 2/2. No one's going to play that unless they got a way to buff the damage of their weapon. You're spending 5 mana to get a 2/2 weapon. It will take 2 turns to do 4 damage with it. And if you're hitting other minions, you're taking damage to the face. That's ridiculously bad in my opinion. I cannot imagine that getting used ever. 4 mana Evolved Kobold. 2/2 for 4 mana but spell damage +2. I don't see that getting played either. Okay, the Grotesque Dragonhawk. 7 mana 5/5 Wind Fury. This seems bad because the Wind Fury Harpy was 4 attack damage and 5 health with Wind Fury for 6 mana and never got played. Nerubian Prophet, 6 mana, 4/4. At the start of your turn, reduce this card's cost by 1. Does that stack? So, for example, on the first turn, it would cost 5 mana. But by the time you get to play it, it might only cost like 2 mana. If it's been sitting in your hand for a long time. So I'm curious about that. If that stacks, that's really good for slow decks. Master of Evolution, 4 mana, 4/5. So that's already good. Battle Cry, transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. That's a no-brainer. That's one of the best. Shaman are really, yeah, Blizzard are obviously saying, you know what, Shamans, you need a little bit of love, and this is it. Shamans will typically be able to put at least something else on the board. If it's not a totem, it's something else. So you're probably going to get use out of this. I'd be surprised if you didn't. And even at its worst, it's still a Chillwind Yeti. And if it is at its best, you'll basically transform in a minion that could potentially be on death's door, is already injured, into not only a fresh version of itself, but actually a fresh version of a minion that costs 1 more, which could be potentially even better. So,
welcome to Free For All, the game where everyone's a fucking lucker except for you.
WTii back at it with 3 ears.
Ears. Yeah, they're fairly subtle, I think, my ears. They're not too bad. Thank you very much for the donation. I wasn't expecting a donation for my ears, though, but thank you. Okay, moving on to 10 mana Doom. Destroy all minions. Draw a card for each. This is actually a card that I had to play earlier when I was doing one of my games. I played against a priest. No, it was a mage who played Spellslinger. And this card was given me because I don't have any of the Old God cards, so I only got this card through the Spellslinger. And then I played Emperor Thaurissan later on in that game. And I got this card down to 8 mana with Emperor Thaurissan. And this mage used Mirror Image like 3 times. Not in a row, but like over and over. And I didn't have a way to kill him at the time. So then I ended up just waiting. And then used this and drew about 6 cards. Which was quite nice. So if you can do it with that kind of style and you can afford to stay alive that long, it's pretty good. But otherwise this card is terrible. But if you can get it to work in that exact sample, like I said, it works nicely. Alright. 5 mana, Stand Against Darkness. Summon 5/1/1 Silverhand Recruits. I saw a paladin do this to me earlier. And I couldn't kill him. So I was really scared that he was going to play that dude, that 5 mana card. There's Silverhand Recruiter or whatever his name is that buffs him up to free freeze. Because that could be super good. You could technically do that on turn 10. You could have 5 free freeze with a 2/5 on turn 10. It's basically Alcazir or whatever his name was, the boss from the League of Explorers card, the free mummies kind of thing. So I think that's a really strong card. Yeah, I mean, it has good synergy potential, but it's super slow. So if Paladin slows down, yeah, you can make it work. A rogue card, Bladed Cultist, 1 mana, 1/2, and a combo is gain +1/+1. So cards like this are like 1.25 in terms of value, in my opinion. Like, they're just extra. Like, a 1 mana 1/2 is not bad. And then it's got that ability, which typically rogues will be able to combo. So you're going to get a 2/3 for 1 mana. And it's not like the heal from the Zombie Chow. And even if you're forced to play it on turn 1, not much is going to be able to kill a 1/2 anyway at the very start. So that seems really good to me. Okay, a Druid card, Mire Keeper, 4 mana 3/3. Choose one, summon a 2/2 slime or gain an empty mana crystal. So on turn 6, you could have 7 mana then potentially with that. Which could be really key. Some synergies there, potentially. A 4 mana 3/3 with a 2/2 slime. So it's 4 mana for 5/5, really. Split over 2 bodies. So that seems really good anyway. It's not a 2/2 slime with taunt though, which is a shame, but... yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. We've got Flame Reefed Faceless, which is a Shaman card. 4 mana 7/7. And an Overload of 2, so it's 6 mana basically for 7/7. What is the deal with these Shaman cards? They got the bloody Totem Golem, didn't they? Which was like a 2 mana 3/4, which is ridiculous. And now they got this. Bloody hell. I think I'm going to have to start working on a Shaman deck after this. We've got a lot of cards to go through, so I do apologise for being somewhat slow, but... hey, Hogger! And let's take a look at this. Hogger, Doom of Elwyn. 7 mana 6/6. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/2 Null with Taunt. Interesting. That could work with Warriors very well, actually, potentially. Because Warriors have the Obsidian Destroyer. That is like a 7/7 that summons a 1/1 Locust with Taunt. And if you are able to somehow do damage to this guy, one step at a time, although it's not that easy, you got Whirlwind, Inner Rage, Cruel Taskmaster. You got a few ways to do it. Ravager Ghouls now, I suppose, but you can't really keep doing it, not reliably, but it's got potential, that card, for slow decks, really slowing the meta down. So we'll see. And we have a rogue card over here, which is the Undercity Huckster. 2 mana, 2/2, Death Rattle, add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class. It's like a no-brainer, this card. It's just good. It's like a Mad Scientist kind of value. Not quite on the same level, but it's close, where you're just getting something for 2 mana, 2/2. It's just a threat. You don't know, your opponent never will know what that card is, and that's kind of the greatest threat in itself, is never knowing what you got. Could be Swipe as a druid, or it could be, you know, Naturalize, which is kind of crappy. You don't know. You might get something rubbish, but just not being able to know what they've got is a big threat. Oh, what the hell. 10 mana 10/10, Faceless Behemoth. So obviously this is a bad card, but I wonder if there's some sort of like mechanic later on that has a chance to, you know, summon a random card, like King Varian. He's a 7/7 that just summons the next 3 cards or something. So if you had cards like this, maybe it works, but I don't know. How do you make that work? 10 mana 10/10. It's not a good card. But if there's a way to put him onto the board without you having to spend 10 mana, then maybe he is. Okay. Steward of Darkshire, Paladin. I like the reference to World of Warcraft. 3 mana, because she's got the torch there. It's very dark in Darkshire. It used to be super pitch black in there. Okay. 3 mana 3/3. Whenever you summon a 1 health minion, give it Divine Shield. So this is almost like an Inspire card. Because if you do that, and then your Silverhand Recruit afterwards, it gets a Divine Shield, which is nice to a degree. It's like a Hobgoblin in a weird way. It is annoying, this card, but it's not super broke or anything like that, but it's certainly not bad. That's a good idea. Yes, the Sizz says, All right. Yeah, thank you. He says regarding the 10 mana 10/10, just a way to saturate the 10 cost slot a bit. Yeah, there's like I say, there's ways to pull cards onto the deck. So I think obviously Blizzard sometimes deliberately create bad cards because if you get the whole piloted shredder kind of mechanic where it summons a random minion for you of a certain cost, and it could be a bad one potentially. So they kind of need to fill it up with crappy ones as well. But I don't know anything that does summon a 10 mana card. Right, Druid. Claxy Amber Weaver, 4 mana 4/5, so that's already good. Battlecry, if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain +5 health. I assume this gets 5 health. So there's going to be this kind of like beast druid / Cthulhu deck being created here. Where, I don't, from judging from it, you have to play 4 or 5 cards, wouldn't you, to get Cthulhu to 10 attack. What does he start off with? I don't know what Cthulhu starts off with. He has 6 attack actually, doesn't he? So you only have to have 2 cards that buff him up. And then this guy comes out as a 4/9. That's pretty insane. That looks good to me. Okay. And we've seen all of these. Possessed Villager. Again, this is a no-brainer. 1 mana 1/1, and you got a Death Rattle, which is always a threat. So it's hard to get rid of that minion, because everyone wants board control. And someone's a 1/1, so you got a 1 mana 2/2, essentially. No-brainer. This would have to be in your deck every time, in my opinion. Unless it's just not going to have as much of an impact as a slow deck that can pull in bigger cards with a little bit of sacrifice for no cards at the start. And again, the Fiery Bat, the Hunter equivalent, 1 mana 2/1 and deals 1 damage to a random enemy. So potentially 3 damage there out of this for 1 mana. A no-brainer. Like, what Hunter class is not going to have that as their 1 mana card? Who's going to do that? They're not. It's like the Leper Gnome kind of value, except potentially better because Leper Gnome hurts the hero, which is great.
Welcome to Free for All, the game where everyone's a fucking lucker except for you.
Like my dad used to always say,
God.
bend the unicorn over and pull down your pants.
Right, thanks very much for that. That's a strange phrase from your dad. Hopefully he didn't used to tell you that each night, and that was just a one-off affair where he got very drunk, but thanks for the donation. Fiery Bat. So, as I was saying, like the Leper Gnome hurts the hero, but it doesn't give you any board control. Whereas this could potentially kill the 1 minion that's going to cause you trouble, or finish it off. So it's just no-brainer, man. Okay, all classes. A Pirate. So 4 mana 2/5, your weapons cost 2 less. With 5 health, it's hard to get rid of this minion, so kind of justifies the 4 mana. Your weapons cost 2 less. So you could get an Assassin's Blade for 3 mana next turn if this stays alive, which it probably will for 5 health. Unless the opponent has proper board control. That's a really good card because it plays with the opponent, because they're not in an immediate threat by it, but it's always a threat because of that. Like I say, Assassin's Blade or something being 2 less mana is huge. And no one really wants to kill a 2/5 because they're like, well, it's not going to do anything otherwise. But because of that, that's a nuisance card. The cards like that are kind of cool because they make you think a lot more when you're playing against it. Right. This video is going to go on forever. I do apologise, but I don't think there's any way to do 250 cards, especially when I'm learning about these cards as well at the same time. If I was going through these as quickly as the other ones, yeah, it could be much shorter, but I'm learning at the same time. It's a good time to sort of like go over these, analyse them, learn them. Feral Rage, I had a chance to play this earlier. It helped me versus Tempo Mage because it gave me an extra 8 armour, stopped him from killing me. 3 mana, give your hero +4 attack this turn, or gain 8 armor. So 3 mana to essentially remove something from the board when it's going to cost you face damage, or 8 armor. It's okay. It's not a great card though compared to a lot of other 3 mana cards, but in those clutch moments you might be very grateful for it. All classes. Twilight Geomancer, 2 mana 1/4. It has Taunt. Battlecry, give your Cthulhu Taunt wherever it is. So it's a 2 mana 1/4 with Taunt. Not terrible, but not good. On the Hunt, 1 mana Hunter card. Deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 Mastiff. What? So you deal 1 damage for 1 mana, and you get a 1/1 out of it. So you get something on the board. And if it's a Mastiff, isn't it going to have charge? So potentially you would have, if you kill... Yeah, no, you don't even have to kill something to proc it. You get 2 damage out of 1 mana, and a 1/1 on the board. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Like, that's going in the deck every time. Unless you're going to have too many 1 mana cards. Mage, Servant of Yogg-Saron. 5 mana, 5/4. Battlecry, cast a random spell that costs 5 or less. Targets chosen randomly. Now, I think this is a good value card, but you're really, really taking a chance with it. So the question is do you want to take that chance? It goes into Tempo Mage by the looks of it, and if Tempo Mage already has enough good stuff to play, it won't worry about this. But if it doesn't, this is a good card. Because someone played it against me earlier, and they got Holy Wrath, which is like a 5 mana card. But it only did 3 damage, because it does damage based on the card that it pulls in next. So on how much that card is valued. So 3 mana. So it did 3 damage. So it's a 5 mana 5/4 and dealt 3 damage to a random minion. So it's not bad. It's kind of like the dragon dude that does 3 damage, but you can choose where it goes. It's not terrible. It's not bad. It's got potential. 7 mana 6/8 Bog Creeper with Taunt. Huh. That's pretty good. Considering it's like a neutral, you know. I'm not saying it's anything amazing, but it's not bad. 8 health to go through isn't too easy. It's just 1 shorter than the Druid class card, which is an 8/8 with Taunt. Iron Bark Protector. Seems alright. Seems legit. Okay. Oh, Thistlety. I remember that from World of Warcraft. Used to use that all the time on my vanilla rogue. 6 mana, Thistlety. Draw a card. Add 2 extra copies of it to your hand. Sounds like it goes very well in a mill deck, but 6 mana might be a bit too much. People were saying that 7 mana for the sprint, where you get 4 cards, is better. Whereas you've got to remember this one isn't drawing from your own deck, so you're not fatiguing yourself in that sense. You're getting 2 extra copies. And depending on what card you can get, that could be amazing, or it could really screw you over. I think it's a huge risk, and I don't see people using that very often. But it's cool that it exists. Okay. 4 mana, Bloodhoof Brave, the warrior card, a 2/6, Taunt, Enrage, plus 3 attack. So those Taurens all love doing that. That's a really good card, except for when it's against Priest with Shadow Word Pain, where it just instantly removes it for 2 mana. But if it's not in that case, a 4 mana 2/6, no one's going to be able to kill it. No, who's going to be able to do 6 damage versus a Taunt card early on in the game? So then if you attack it, it's going to get 5/6 for 4 mana. I think that's a really good card. It's just an annoying, threatening card, and it's good. Helps warriors slow the shit down. Okay. Alrighty, well, let's have a look at the bottom 2 then. Ralliant Blade, 3 mana 3/2. So that's like Fiery War Axe. Except it's 1 more mana, but the battle cries give +1/+1 to your minions with Divine Shield. That's scary. Paladins do not have any problem getting minions out with Divine Shield. I think that's pretty good, to be fair. For 1 extra mana, getting +1/+1 on Divine Shielded minions is really annoying, because then they can trade super valuably. Yeah, I've got a stupid amount of cards left to go. 4 mana Polluted Hoarder, Death Rattle, draw a card, 4 mana 4/2. Seems kind of bad to me. Drawing the card is nice, but the card does almost nothing for 4 mana 4/2. Apart from just be a threat. Hey, epic now. Oh, that's the really... Look how happy they are. That's the really broken Hunter card. 8 mana, summon all 3 animal companions. So that's Huffer, that's Lyric, and that's Misha. So that's the 4/2 charge. That's the 2/4, and it buffs everything nearby with +1 attack. And then there's Misha with 4/4 Taunt. So you're going to have a 5/4 Taunt, you're going to have a 5/2 charge, and Lyric just chilling out. all protected by Misha. For 8 mana. 3 cards. I don't even know how much that... I mean, if Lyric doesn't get silenced and he stays as he is, stays alive, you got 4-2, you got 5-4, so 9-6, and then Lyric, so 11-10. Technically, I think that's right. 11-10 worth of stats for 8 mana. Over 3 minions on the board. That's really big. The only thing that screws it over is Flame Strike, but that's huge. Okay, Usher of Souls, Warlock card. Kind of want to go back to Warlock. I enjoy playing Warlock. 5 mana, 5/6, so that's pretty good. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give you a Cocoon, +1/+1. It's not bad if you've got like if you had Implosion the turn before and you got 4 imps out of it and you just kill them one after one. Okay, Shaman card, 6 mana, 5/5, Thing from Below, Taunt, costs 1 less for each totem you summoned this game. But does that only count if it's already in your hand? Or, you know, if you draw that on turn 6, will that, and you say played 4 totems beforehand, would that then cost like 2 mana? That's what I'm curious about. If that's the case, that's really good. Hello, Badge. It's going fine, thank you very much. Ah, Addled Grizzly, 3 mana 2/2. After you summon a minion, give it +1/+1. So it's a 3 mana for a 3/3. But I don't think it's like a one-off effect. I think it stacks. So if you can keep this guy alive, which is really hard for 3 mana and a 2/2. But if you kept him alive, potentially you're getting +1/+1 from every minion. So it's interesting. I'm not sure if it's really going to get played. Depends how many other better beasts there are. So I don't know about that. Golden. Oh, I heard the golden bit and it's a common. But I get to play that fiery bat now. That golden fiery bat every time I play Hunter. Okay, so we can go through this a bit quicker now. Because we've already seen these cards. If I've seen the cards before, I will avoid them. Or not so much avoid them, just not notice them. So 5 mana Cult Apothecary. 5 mana 4/4 Battlecry. For each enemy minion, restore 2 health to your hero. This is actually fairly good. It's almost like an antique heal bot. Like I was playing against Warlock, and I was somewhat aggressive, and I had 4 minions on the board, and he played this twice, as I had 4 minions on the board. Not like on the same turn, but one after the other, or one sort of like one after another turn. But he got 8 health for those 4 minions. So he got 8 health and put a 4/4 on the board for 5 mana. So it was like an antique heal bot with an extra +1/+1. But I had to have 4 minions for him to get that. So I don't know if it's really that good. It's only if people can, like, aggro just gets crazy and there's like a board of 7 minions or something. Potentially you could get 14 health out of this if your opponent has 7 minions on the board. It's so it's a risk, basically. It's a big risk playing that. The Faceless Shambler, 4 mana, 1/1. All classes, Taunt. Copy a friendly minion's attack and health. Ah, but it has to be on a friendly minion, not an enemy minion, so that makes it somewhat potentially bad, because you'd have to have really good valued. So if you could play a deck that has super value, in terms of, like, for example, there was that card that was 5 mana and it's a 6/6, or, you know, what was that Shaman card that actually had, like, it was 4 mana, Overload, 7/7, that kind of thing. Or, yeah, you could play it on the Eerie statue, that's a 4 mana, 7/7, and it can't attack unless it's the only minion on the board, so that's the catch, but it's still good stats. But you have to play a kind of relatively useless minion to get something out of it. So maybe a parts silence your own deck kind of build. It has potential, that one. Hello to Reason J. Okay. What new legendaries did I get? I can't remember. Have I got a legendary of Old Gods? If I did get one, I don't remember it. So it didn't have that much of an impact on me. Okay. Power Word Tentacles. 5 mana. Give a minion +2/+6. So it's a shit version of Felon's Chosen? I don't get it. That's bad. Felon's Chosen is like 3 mana. Gives +2, +4, and +1 spell damage, isn't it? This is a terrible Felon's Chosen. The hell. Oh god, Psychotron. Look at that. 5 mana, 3/4, Taunt, Divine Shield. That might be good. I'm sure we're going to see that somehow. But I'm not seeing exactly how that's super valuable. 6 mana, Things from Below. Yep, we've seen that one before. That's the one I'm really impressed with as well, that card. Oh yes, I got the Hogger, that's correct. Yeah, the Warrior Hogger thing. That's super good. Well, potentially super good if you can keep hitting it. Good luck with that though. Oh, N'Zoth's first minion. I think that one gives you a 1/3 hook. So you play a minion and you get a 1/3 weapon. We might be able to see that again at some point. I didn't mean to skip that. I thought I already seen it. Okay, 6 mana Corrupted Seer. So it looks like a Murloc. Battlecry. Deal 2 damage to all non-Murloc minions. Oh my. But 6 mana for 2/3. But I suppose you would get added buffs if you had a bunch of other Murlocs on the board. So it's not necessarily a 2/3. So it's a 6 mana deal 2 damage to all other minions. I don't know about that. Good luck trying to get that one to work. I'm sure someone will do it. Okay, Druid card. 6 mana 5/7. A Dark Arakoa. So it's got Taunt. Battlecry. Give you a Cthulhu +3/+3. So that's one of the bigger ones. And it's a Battlecry, so it definitely gets it. So it's a 6 mana 5/7 Taunt. That's really good, because Druids love to play the 5 mana 4/6 Taunt, so this is only 1 more mana, and it's still better stats, and it buffs Cthulhu, so certainly not bad. Nerubian Prophet, yeah, that's the one I kind of want to keep playing. I've got enough of those cards now to definitely fit them into my decks. Okay, Faceless Summoner, yeah, Battlecry, summon a random 3-cost minion, 5/5. I think we saw this one earlier, and that's ridiculously good in my opinion. It's only 1 mana. It's 6 mana for a 5/5 that gives you a 3 mana cost minion. You're typically not going to get a bad one, not for 3 mana. A lot of them are good. So you're going to get some good synergy out of that. And it puts another minion on the board, so it's pretty good. Celis Initiate. Did we see this one before? Definitely I'll give a random friendly minion. If it dies, +1/+1. That's got good potential. There's a Paladin one that does something kind of annoying like that. It's a 1 mana 2/1, and if it dies, the next minion gets Divine Shield, which is really potentially strong, depending on what minion gets it. Okay, Twilight Dark Mender, 5 mana 6/5, Battlecry. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, restore 10 health to your hero. So if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, which is doable, 5 mana 6/5, 10 health to the hero. So that's a stronger version of that card that I was telling you about, healing yourself for all the minions on the board, or Antique Healbot. So yeah, you should be able to get good value out of that. Priest will be able to stay alive quite long, I think. Okay, we've seen this. Oh, there you go. We'll look at it again. 1 mana, 1/1. N'Zoth's first mate, Battlecry. Equip a 1/3 Rusty Hook. That seems well worth playing. A 1/3 hook is terrible, to be honest with you. Like, you don't really want to trade with many minions. Certainly, only if they got 1 health, I suppose. So it should be able to kill a fair bit, especially since there's a lot of 1 mana cards that have 1 health that everyone's going to be playing, as you can see, or even the 2 mana ones that you could kill. So you get a weapon that's got 3 charges. So if you got to use the weapon every time, and you weren't replacing it with a fiery war axe or anything like that, which you pretty much always want, because it's a fiery wind axe. If you get that, then you kind of got control for the first few rounds. Equip a 1/3, so you're going to get 3 damage out of that, and 1 damage out of this guy. So potentially 4 damage for a 1 mana card. So good, good, good. The Golden Common. That's the On the Hunt one. It looks really good as a golden. Look at that, very shiny. Darkshire Councilman, so 3 mana 1/5. I saw a Warlock earlier play this twice. Didn't do anything versus me because he didn't get Implosion. That's the only way I think you get it. If after you summon a minion. I don't know if that works. Like, if you get Implosion, does it count as 4 minions? That way you could boost him up to a 4/5. Seems really slow, but it's not impossible for Warlocks to find a way to get shitloads of minions on the board. Okay. We've seen these. We need to start getting some special cards now, so I can definitely go to half pwn and get all my decks completed. Alrighty, so Faceless Shambler, twice we got that. Eater of Secrets, 4 mana. Oh, damn. Battlecry, destroy all enemy secrets and gain +1/+1 for each. I've been playing Kazam Mystic in my deck for a lot of them because so many bloody people are still using secrets. A lot of mages out there. Freeze mages are the worst. I hate them. So destroying a Freeze mage's ice block is like the best feeling ever. 4 mana 2/4 isn't terrible. And considering it gets buffs for it as well if it does destroy secrets. Hunter's going to be a lot stronger, I think, now. So you're going to get value out of this because I think Hunter's definitely going to be stronger. So you'll see more of those. That's really good, I think, honestly. At least one of those in your deck, just versus the secrets, because it destroys all enemy secrets. So it completely crushes Secret Paladin. Twilight Geomancer. 2 mana, 1/4. Oh yeah, we've seen this one. And 2 mana Marcus Yisarge. Yisarge? I can't say it. Give a minion +2/+2. If it's a beast, draw a card. That is insane for the beast druids. 2 mana, draw a card, and give a minion +2/+2. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Oh, sorry, I kept mentioning Implosion, but you're correct. Implosion isn't in standard now. Is that Goblin versus Gnome card? Ah, but Forbidden Ritual, you say, is in the meta right now, and that one summons a bunch of tentacles. Okay. Yasharaj. Okay, I could say that now. Yasharaj. Hey, I remember this guy. Scarum Cultist. Battlecry. Give your Cafoon +2/+2 wherever it is. 6 mana 7/6. Seems alright. Nothing too special about it. Hey. Yeah, that's the tentacle. Back to that. Infested Tauren, 4 mana 2/3. Taunt, Death Rattle summons a 2/2 slime, but the 2/2 slime doesn't have Taunt on or anything, so it's a 4/5 for 4 mana over potentially 2 minions, but not at the start. You have to kill it to get it. I'm not sure if anyone's going to play that. Ah, Bloodsail Cultist. Battlecry. If you control a pirate, give your weapon +1/+1. 3 mana 3/4, so that's already a very good card. It's a warrior only, so warrior pirates. Give your weapon +1/+1. Weapons are so key. Like, imagine the Rusty Hook. That's a 1/3 durability. Oh my god, there's a warrior pirate deck. I can't wait to play that. +1/+1 is insane. It's only if you control any pirate, though. It's not going to be like +2 or +3 if you have 3 pirates. But I still like that. That's good synergy. That's good tempo for pirates. Okay, what have we got? Forbidden Ancient. Whoa, look at that. That reminds me of Warcraft 3. 1 mana 1/1. Battlecry. Spend all your mana and gain +1/+1 for each mana spent. Huh. Does it count for the 1 mana that you spent on this card? Or if you have 2 mana and you play this on turn... Yeah, you play this on turn 2 with 2 mana, it just gets +1/+1 because there's only 1 mana spare. That's what I assume. I'm not sure how I feel about this card because it's really bad compared to all the other 1 mana cards if you're going to play it on turn 1. But if you've got a crappy turn or anything like that, you're going to get your value. Well, I suppose you turn it on turn 5, it would be a 5/5. Or would it be a 6/6 because it's 1/1, then plus that? Oh yeah, it would. It'd be a 5 mana, 6/6. So it's always getting +1/+1 on top of that. That seems really good. So if you play that on turn 10, you get 11/11. Yeah, I think that's a good card. Not sure how I'd make it work exactly, but it seems like a good card. Right, we're coming back to him in a second. We've got another legendary. So Squid Face, we did go over that. So Jammy. 3 mana Disciple of Cthulhu. Battlecry, deal 2 damage. I got this, unfortunately, as a Discover card, and I didn't like it much. It didn't do anything to help me out. Kind of, really. Deal 2 damage, give you a Cthulhu +2/+2. 3 mana, 2/1. Seems... I suppose it will kill something for 2 damage, and then 3 mana. It could actually be really good, that, potentially. Against early-ish aggro decks. Okay, so let's get over to Nat the Darkfisher. At the start of your opponent's turn, they have a 50% chance to draw an extra card. 2 mana, 2/4. What? So it gives your opponent a chance to draw an extra card. Only 50% though. So you're essentially getting a 2/4 for 2 mana. That's kind of the power creep value you're getting from it, but it's not that good because you can get a Zombie Chow for 2/3. And you're giving your opponent a chance to get an extra card. That seems bad. You can keep your legendary. If it's like a 3/4 or something, I might understand. Ah, Cult Sorcerer. 2 mana, 3/2. Spell damage +1. Give, after you cast a spell, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. So that's like the Sorcerer Apprentice. Like, it's just a good card. It's a 2 mana 3/2. That's not bad stats, and it's got a buff to it. It's a spell damage +1. So if you played Arcane Missiles after it, so you get that extra 1. Yeah, that's fine, that card. But I'm not sure if it's better than Sorcerer Apprentice. Don't think it is, to be fair. I'd say it isn't. Okay. Silphid Swarmer. 3 mana 3/5. Can only attack if your hero attacked this turn. So that's a rogue fucking class card there. I mean, technically it's for all classes, but your rogue's always going to be able to attack, or a druid, something like that. Mage can sometimes do it, I think, if the fireball counts. But I think it means attack as in like a weapon. So, you could always stick a taunt on that though. So it's a 3 mana 3/5. If you put a taunt next to it, or you can even silence it. It's a 3 mana 3/5, so it's not terrible. Golden. Oh look, we got the Silphid, but it's now a golden card. Okay, we've seen that. But a Light in the Darkness, 2 mana, discover a minion, give it +1/+1. That's good. I think that's a good card. I would have thought that every paladin would have that, or at least one of those. 2 mana to discover something. So it's like the 2 mana 1/1 creature that you put on the board, but except this card, this minion that you discover, will get +1/+1. I think that's good. That's definitely good. You're just not putting a minion on the board, but the minion that you do get from it will be a +1/+1. Which could be insane if you got like a Wind Fury creature or a Divine Shield creature. Forbidden Shaping. Spend all your mana, summon a random minion that costs that much. That's kind of a cool late game card. That's probably why they put that 10 mana 10/10, which isn't bad, but if someone used this on turn 10, there you go. They might get that. They'll probably want something like Cthulhu or Yasharaj or whatever, but they might end up getting the 10/10 instead, which still isn't that bad, to be fair, but for 10 mana, not necessarily that good. So yeah, that's interesting, that. Infested Wolf, 4 mana 3/3, Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 spiders. So it's Haunted Creeper 2.0. So Haunted Creeper's a 2 mana 1/2. This is a 4 mana 3/3. I'm not sure that's worse though, but it is a beast. So you could... you don't have Haunted Creeper anyway anymore because we don't have Naxxramas, so it might be a slightly worse Haunted Creeper to some degree to kind of like make up for it. Are the spiders beasts? They weren't before with the Haunted Creeper. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag. There we go. Yeah, we've seen evolve. Very good. I need more sort of like goldens or stuff like that, just so I can disenchant them if I keep getting the same cards now. As you can see, I am. There's got to be more cards than I've seen though, so far. I know there's a lot more cards out there. But I'm starting to see the same ones now, a lot. Which is good for me getting through these packs, but it's not so necessarily good if I'm going to get screwed over and I have to create a bunch. Darkshire Librarian, 2 mana, 3/2. What? Battlecry, discard a random card and Death Rattle, draw a card. Oh. That's only good if you don't actually have any cards in your deck, and you're going to have cards in your deck. Maybe if you pull that at the end of the game, it might be useful. Draw a card. That's okay. Not sure if it's good enough though. Okay, so 3 mana Spreading Madness. Oh, someone played this earlier as the last ditch attempt to stay alive. It's a Warlock with 6 health. Needless to say, 6 of the damage went onto his face and not the minions on the board or me. That was quite funny. So it's 3 mana to deal 9 damage, which is huge. But it can easily hit that person more than it hits you. That's going to make people so salty when that goes against them, though. See, the rares are fine. I can get extra dust from those. Well, you're always going to get 1 rare with each pack. Okay, we got something new now. Ancient Shield Bearer. Love that shield. Battle Cry says a 7 mana 6/6. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain 10 armor. Woo! That's really good. That's 1 more mana than the Shield Bearer or whatever she's called. I think that is her name. Which is a 5/5 and gives you 5 armor. Yeah, that's insane. Warrior decks will probably be able to find a way to get Cthulhu to 10 attack, I would have thought. I like that, because I like playing Warrior as well. I like to play like mill decks or exhaust type decks, because you just get more of a chance to try cool stuff out. Because you can actually last that long. It's really difficult to do in the previous meta though, because everyone was killing you within like turn. I was getting killed on turn 4 multiple times. It's ridiculous. I killed someone on turn 4 when I did one of those decks. It's disgusting. I felt bad afterwards. Alright. Turn 1, Selfless Hero. That's the Paladin card I mentioned earlier. Death Rattle. So it's a 1 mana 2/1, which is already good. And then the Death Rattle is give a random friendly minion Divine Shield, which could be insane depending on what minion that goes on. Even if it's just a crappy 1/1 Silver Recruit. It's still valuable for 1/1. If it gets killed beforehand, well, it's still a 2/1 for 1 mana. I don't really think 1 mana cards should ever have 2 damage, if I'm being honest with you. I think they should have their functionality and, you know, their practicality, their mechanics, but I don't think they should ever have 2 attack. I think they should always have 1 attack at most. Because you shouldn't really have 1 mana cards potentially trade in with 3 mana cards, depending on how bad the 3 mana card is. Or even a 4 mana card, for that mention, because some of those 4 mana cards are 4/2s. Ooh. Very alienic. Blood of the Ancient One. 9 mana, 9/9. If you control 2 of these at the end of your turn, merge them into the Ancient One. I think Creparium mentioned this one on one of his videos. I believe the Ancient One is like a... It's like a 30 attack, 30 health minion. So would you rather? He was saying like, would you rather just have two 9/9s with for 9/9, or a 1 card that has 30 attack and 30 health? It's gonna be so gimmicky, that card. I can't see it ever getting used properly. Oh, Midnight Drake. Cool, blimey, look at that. 4 mana, 1/4, gain +1 attack for each other card in your hand. Isn't that just the Twilight Drake? So, the Twilight Drake, on a good day, can sometimes get, like, typically, what, 8 to 9 health? If you're a Warlock and things go perfectly for you. You'd have a 9 attack, 4 health minion on turn 4. Which still necessarily isn't that good. I'd rather have the high health and low damage. So, it's interesting, but I don't think that's a particularly good card. Not realistically. Like, the idea of it's cool, but realistically, if someone can get away with that, you've probably already lost anyway. Fuck off! It made a big deal out of it. It was bloody Nat the Dark Fisher again. Who I already discussed was bad. And now I've got two of my legendaries have been spent on a bad card. Brilliant. Okay, well this card's good. I've seen loads of mages playing this bloody hell. Earlier when I was playing, all of the mages had this card in there. Kabbalist Tome. Add 3 random mage spells, which are almost always good for 5 mana. That's insane. So it's... yeah, it's not quite Sprint, because Sprint is 4 cards and it's 2 mana cheaper, but mage cards are always good. And it synergizes with tempo after casting spells and stuff like that. Mana Worms, so yeah, that card is insane. Right. I feel like there's probably still like another 20 or so cards that I haven't even got one of yet. Like, for example, things like this that aren't even necessarily that special, not like a legendary or anything. It's just, I need to get those cards as well to build these decks. Forbidden Ritual for 0 mana. Spend, oh, it's the Warlock class card kind of thing. Spend all your mana, summon that many 1/1 tentacles. That's cool. Some of the class ones are bad, but this one's cool. So you could have 10 1/1 10. Actually, maybe that's not good. Because people don't like the Wisp card, do they? Where if you spend 5 mana, you get 5 1/1 Wisps. So how is this different, to be honest with you? But, because of the synergy with summoning minions, like there was that Warlock card that has a 1/5. It's 1 attack, 5 health, and, you know, it gets +1 attack for every thing that you summon. You know, if that survives to the next turn, and then you play that, and if that card cost 4 mana, so you'd get 5/5, so you'd have a 5/5 that could attack out of it. Yeah, yeah. I think you can make something work with that. Seven mana, 6/5 warrior weapon. Battlecry, equip a random weapon. Well, he looks cool as fuck, Malkarok. But I'm not sure that's a good card. 7, if it's a 6 mana 6/5. But it's a 7 mana 6/5. What's the worst weapon you get? Like a 1/3? So even in the worst case scenario, or the Paladin one, 1/4, that kind of thing, yeah. But a lot of the weapons are good. You could get Gorehowl potentially with it. I think that is a good card. And I think a lot of warriors will probably have one of these. Because it's only a legendary. You can only have one. So I think there's a good chance a lot of slow warriors will have this card in their deck. Just so they can get another weapon out. And put something on the board. But I'm not sure if it's as powerful as a lot of the common cards that I've seen that have super value. Renounce Darkness. Is that Anduin? 2 mana as a Warlock card. 2 mana. Replace your hero power and Warlock cards with another classes. The cards cost 1 less. So this is good. People were saying that once Warlock gets towards the end of its deck and there's no more cards left to pull, you don't really want your hero power because it's the worst hero power in the game at that point. So if you can change it, that's pretty cool. So you replace your hero power and Warlock cards. So it replaces all your cards as well. And it says with another class. It doesn't say with your opponent's class. It just says another class. So it could be any class. That's cool. That's very RNG, but in a sort of controlled style way. I like that. Oh yeah, Cursed Blade could be a real problem, definitely. Because you wouldn't be able to do anything after that turn. And then if they can hit you, you take double damage. Yeah, Cursed Blade would really screw you over. So maybe just because of that, that card might not actually get seen played. On the hunt. That's good. We know Master of Evolution. They stand out. 76 more to go after this. It's nothing, really. We're getting through in quicker, though, as you can see. I can't believe I've been going for an hour and a half. Or not quite that much, but getting close to it. Jesus Christ, I thought this video was going to be like 20 minutes long or something. Infested Wolf, yeah, we've seen that. Okay. Still seeing the same old ones. Yep. Blade of Cthulhu, 9 mana 4/4, destroys a minion. Add its attack and health to Cthulhu's. Whoa. I'm not sure that will get played though, because it's so late. 9 mana is a lot of mana for that. And this card will basically get killed right afterwards, most likely. So you're essentially just trying to super buff Cthulhu. But it does destroy a minion, so it could be a really strong minion. That could be really good, actually. I might not be giving that enough credit. There you go, Darkshire Councilman, that's the one that could work with the Warlock class card thingy. Psychotron. Blood to Ica, 1 mana. Deal 1 damage to a minion. If it survives, summon a 2/2 slime. So you get to deal 1 damage and get a 2/2 slime out of it. So that seems like a no-brainer as well. Because even if you didn't deal damage, you're getting a 2/2 minion for 1 mana. I mean, agreed. If it doesn't survive, then, well, you've killed it for 1 mana anyway, so I suppose you've got your value. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That could work with Patron as well. Yeah, good point there, Ruffle. Patron, Worgans, yeah. Jeez, yeah, that would really work. Crazed Worshipper for 5 mana, 3/6. Whenever this minion takes damage, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. You gotta damage it. I don't think that's getting played. Not compared to the other ones that can buff Cthulhu. Dark Speaker, 5 mana, 3/6. Battlecry, swap stats with a friendly minion. You're swapping stats though. That'd be interesting to see how that works though. You give 6 health to something else. I'd like to see how that works in play, because for some reason my brain isn't quite corresponding it, even though it's quite straightforward. But I don't know if that's really that good for 5 mana. Gonna be back in a second actually. I shouldn't have drunk so much water. There we go. And I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, water. It's this thing. I drink this like multiple times a day. And by multiple, I mean probably close to 8 to 9 times. Alrighty. Starting to get as quick with these as I did with the classic cards. Swapping the stats with an Acolyte of Pain. Yeah, you're really... How much do you play Hearthstone then, Ruffle90? Because you have quite a few ideas. Unless you're stealing them all from Caparian. And the synergies of these cards. Oh, I see. Swapping the stats with an Acolyte of Pain. Yeah, you're really... How much do you play Hearthstone then, Ruffle90? Because you have quite a few ideas. Unless you're stealing them all from Caparian. And the synergies of these cards. Yeah, no one really touches an Acolyte of Pain, so there's a good chance it could survive. Right, Scaled Nightmare. A 6 mana 2/8. At the start of your turn, double this minion's attack. That's cool. But it seems like the kind of card where if you get to play it, you've already won kind of thing going on. Because it's going to have to do that twice before it becomes actually really valuable. Maybe a freeze mage, but... Oh. N'Zoth, the Corruptor. 10 mana, 5/7. Its battle cry is summon your death rattle minions that died this game. I had the pleasure of coming across this creepy little fella earlier when I played against a hunter that had almost every single death rattle card under the sun, and then he played this on turn 10, the moment it hit turn 10, and he had about 6 other minions, including the N'Zoth, that all had death rattle effects and were quite powerful already. Needless to say, I left the moment he did that. So that's kind of like a game over card. And this one, the Claxi Amber Weaver, which is a different Claxi, a 4 mana 4/5. So already good. And Battlecry, if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain +5 health. That's very similar to the Druid class card, isn't it? That had something like that. I think there's a Druid class card. Either... Yeah, no, there you go. It is Druid. Duh. Just look a little bit lower. Because I was going to say, there's a Druid class card that's exactly the same. But this portrait looked different to me. That's probably because it's golden. Right. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, why would they have like an all classes equivalent and then a Druid class equivalent that does the same thing? Thank you very much. The Zoff is mine. Okay, Scaled Nightmare again. He's trying to convince me. I'm looking forward to seeing how much dust I get out of this. Ah, Embrace the Shadows, 2 mana. This turn, your healing effects deal damage instead. Is that good though? Yes. Because you could potentially stack it with, like, for late game, flashlight, flash heals. You could do 10 damage for 4 mana potentially with that. So, yes, that is a good card. But it's certainly not good early game. You just have to hold on to it for ages. Imagine that with Felon's Chosen. Felon's Chosen is a 7 mana card. I could see that deck being created. Is Felon's Chosen available in this standard play though? Because you'd get an Emperor Pharazin. You'd make an Emperor Pharazin usually gets killed after 1 turn. So realistically, you'd get him Felon's Chosen, and not Felon's Chosen, just Felon himself, Prophet Felon, a 7 mana 7/7 that has doubles your healing and spell power, something like that. So that becomes a 6 mana. You play that card, and then you can do 20 damage on 1 turn. Oh, he is Goblin versus Gnomes. Ah, the one time I thought of something cool that I could build a whole deck around. Damn it. Oh, is Felon or Felon's Chosen? Felon's Chosen is definitely Goblin versus Gnomes. Oh right, the legendary isn't. Good. That means I need to go to Hearthstone, create a deck and get lots of views. Well, he's happy about this one, isn't he? Ancient Harbinger. So the 6 mana 4/6. At the start of your turn, put a 10 cost minion from your deck into your hand. So 6 mana 4/6 taunt, basically, because the opponent's going to have to kill this or they're going to die. Isn't this just going to be insane with Freeze Mage or something? Although you would have to play it on turn 9 minimum. Or unless you had the Emperor Pharazin. But you'd do that and then Frost Nova, so your opponent can kill you unless they had spells. So you freeze the enemy hero, if they're a warrior or whatnot. You put counter spell on. You then do Frost Nova, so you do the counter spell and the freezing beforehand. With a water elemental. This is all the setup. A water elemental and counter spell on the turn beforehand. Then you play this and Frost Nova, and then you get your 10 mana card. It's easy. I was just about to say, do another legendary. It's the same bloody one. Nazoth. Although, to be fair, I shouldn't complain after getting a legendary like 5 packs afterwards, but 400 dust at least, isn't it? Still no golden legendary or Jiraxis, I don't think. If you do it quick enough, you're guaranteed to get a legendary. That's good. Kabbalist time. 2 of those at least, please. Blood Warriors. 3 mana. Add a copy of each damaged friendly minion to your hand. Holy shite. Echo of Medivh. Well, Warriors will love that card, won't they? Because they have loads of good cards that can afford to be damaged. Acolyte of Pain. You know... The Armor Smith, potentially Grim Patron, other stuff as well. Yeah, they'll like that. Hey, Magellas, you got yourself your own Macharok or Malkarok. I got it first though, so I win. Fucking hell! I don't know whether to be happy or upset. All my legendaries are being spent on Nazoth. He really is the corruptor, isn't he? Bloody old gods constantly whispering to me. I've now got 3 Nazoths. 3 of them. In a row as well. It's not like I got one at the start and then one now. It's 3 in a row. Right, well hopefully I get another legendary by the end of this. Otherwise I'll be a bit upset. Forbidden Flame, 0 mana. Spend all your mana. Deal that much damage to a minion. So that's the mage one. That'd be good if you get to keep that each turn. But I think it's a one-off. Don't. Ah, okay. At the moment that happened, I was like, don't you dare be Nazoth. Because it's always the top left one as well. Anomalous. Anyone remember Wrath of the Lich King? The Nexus? I think it was the Nexus dungeon. Anomalous was one of the bosses. I'm pretty sure he was. He's an 8 mana, 8/6 mage card. Death Rattle will deal 8 damage to all minions. So he's like a slightly worse version of Ronin. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh wait, hang on a second. No, he's not. I thought it was deal 8 damage spread amongst minions at first. So I thought it was like arcane missiles, 8 of them. No, what? 8 damage to all enemy minions. Oh, it's to all minions full stop. So that could screw you over as well. It's like the ultimate flame strike. Would it be interesting if they had a card that could proc Death Rattle? I think hunters have that, but mages don't. But 8 damage. There's not many minions that are going to have 8 health. Hey, the Golden Evolve, because I'm definitely going to be playing that. Thing is, I don't really play Shaman otherwise, but I've got a good enough reason to play it now. Thank God we won't have those stupid combo druids anymore. Sick of those on ladder. Especially as a Reno lock. No more, I don't know if that Forbidden Hero Healing was one I've seen before. Herald Falsage. 6 mana, 5/5 priest card. Summon a 1/1 copy of each of your other minions. Ho ho ho! That's a really cool special one, isn't it? And it's only 6 mana as well. So if you had... Oh yeah, but they have to be on the board for this to work. So you have to have stuff on the board. Okay. You've got to have stuff on the board for this to work. Priests can do that though, I think. It's difficult sometimes, but they can get something stuck on the board. They kind of already won anyway, but... Yeah, this is a win harder card, this is pretty much. Still, it's not unlikely to have a Sylvanas, is it? And your opponent not necessarily kill it on that same turn. They might still have it alive because they don't know what to do with it. And then you play this afterwards. And then you really win. Yeah, I think there's probably more legendaries dropping now. Just to keep people happier. Oh. Be curious to know if there's a way I can work out which cards I haven't got. Is there a way to look that up? Like afterwards? Which cards did you not get? I suppose you go to crafting and just see which ones are grayed out. It's a different one as well. Soggy, the Sliferer. It's a 9 mana 5/9 with taunt. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So it could be affected by AoE or other minions with abilities like the Kidnapper. Could send this back, so you could still get screwed by that. But it's a 9 mana 5/9 taunt. I don't think that's good though, is it really? That's like if you're desperate to stay alive. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Tauren Chieftain for saying, ugh. Lucky 7. Lucky 6. Shadowcast, I don't think I've seen that one. 5 mana 4/4, choose a friendly minion, add a 1/1 copy to your hand that costs 1. But it's not even a combo, it's just a battle cry. It's a 1/1 copy though, so it'll only come out with 1/1. But a lot of the rogue cards are sort of procs or death rattles and stuff like that anyway, so that seems like a very good card. Okay, this is it now. Last pack of Whispers of the Old God. Ugh. Twilight Summoner. That is a new one. 4 mana 1/1. And its Death Rattle is summon a 5/5 Faceless Destroyer. So that's a real risk. It reminds me of the Dreadsteed. Because if that got silenced, it's a 4 mana 1/1. That's useless. If it doesn't get silenced and you can kill it, you can always just kill it on your own turn, potentially, if you've got enough mana or an ability to do it. It's 4 mana for a 5/5, which isn't bad. But ideally you want to trade with it. So that's got good potential, but if silenced, you're going to feel real bad. Okay, let's go to the part where we find out how much dust we get. My collections, when it lets me, after it's loaded a little bit. There we go. So I've got 0 packs left, 5 gold. Yeah, silences are a little bit more nerfed. You are right, Retro. So it's a bit hard. Oh, look at all those new cards. 138 neutral ones. Okay, so I've got 730 dust now, so we just kind of remove that. That's a good way to look at it. Right, crafting. Disenchant. Extra cards. Oh, 13,000 dust. I don't think I've seen anything close to that. How much does it cost to craft a legendary? Is it like 1,600? And a golden legendary must be like 3,200 or something. What? So I basically got 13,000 dust from that. 250 packs. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. So needless to say, I can at least get myself quite a few legendaries if I need to. Should I come across any decks that I really want to try out, because that's always the most annoying thing, is you see a really good deck that you want to try out on Halfbone, but it's got one card that's really key to it working, and that's the one card you ain't got, and you need like 1,600 dust to get it. Okay, so let's find out a legendary. So these are the ones that I didn't get. I haven't got Aviana. Scenarius I ain't got. And this is one with the Old Gods expansion, isn't it? Fandrel. Staghelm. You choose one card. I don't know if he is the Old God one, but you choose one card. You choose one Your choose one cards have both effects combined. Trying to think of what choose one is. Oh, I know what that is. Have both effects combined. Oh, wow. And it's a 4-mana 3/5. That's pretty good. 3/5 ain't bad. You could build a whole deck around that. So if you did the Raven, Mark of the Raven, where you choose between a spell or a minion, you get both a spell and a minion. So yeah, that's got lots of potential. So 1600. So how much for a golden? I just think I have to put golden to be... Oh, unless I do legendary. And then show only golden cards. Yeah, 3,200. So I could get myself the golden Jiraxis potentially. Man. So tempting. But I think for now, I'm going to have to see what cards I'm missing. So, this doesn't have an option, does it? To see what cards you haven't got. Is there a way to work out which cards you haven't got? I suppose you just flick through this way. You kind of see Astral Communion. But is there something I can type in that I haven't got? Not got yet. I don't think that works. But, yeah. Missing. Ah! Very well done there. Personen. Thank you very much. That'll do it then. Yeah. So if you type missing, and you can see exactly what you ain't got. Very good. Whisper of the Old Gods, so I didn't get that card. That's definitely an Old Gods card. So you can't see these very clearly right now. I can't even see them very clearly. Princess Huron. So that's one I didn't get. 5 mana 6/5 battle cry. Trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. So there you go. You can trigger a death rattle. That's really good potentially. Sylvanas, cough cough. You could do that if you had Emperor Pharazin. You could definitely do that turn 9 or 10. Grand Sand Giant Sandworm. Whenever this attacks, kills a minion, it may attack again. Huh. That's interesting if you can make it not take damage. There is a card that can stop you from taking damage. I think it's 2 mana as well. You can't go below 1 health, so that could potentially board clear. Philitin Inquisitor. Battlecry, your hero power becomes summon a 1/1 Murloc. Oh my goodness, yeah, the Paladin Murlocs are back. They were real pains. It's impossible to kill a Paladin Murloc with Reno Lock or something like that. The anything can happen one. Only if they just have the worst start possible. But typically they always just keep chucking stuff on. You can't do anything about it. Ragnaros the Light Lord. That looks really weird. It almost looks feminine. Is he a lady, Ragnaros? At the 8 mana 8/8, at the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damage friendly character. That's such a troll card. Like, how does that make sense? Like, where's the lore in that? I don't think that's that good, though. I think the 8 mana, the one that does 8 damage is far better than 8 health. Should be like 16 health or something. I don't know. And they could just target something crap. Congratulations on Fandral Staghelm. That's what I want. See, I got this dude. I got the golden version of him. That's why he's coming up there. Because if I go to golden, I've got him. Prophet Felon, that's the dude. Doubles. So I did actually get a lot of the cards, to be fair. There's a few like this that I haven't got. Sorrow, Poison Mind, 4 mana 3/2. Add a random toxin card to your hand. A toxin card. What does that mean? I don't know what toxin card is unless it's deadly poison or something. Specific type of card then that I've not really seen before. I can't think of. Battlecry and Death Rattle. So surely that's going to get played. Because you're going to get 2 random toxin cards. Unless this gets silenced. And then you still get 1. Seems good. The Ascended, Halasil. Whenever your spells deal damage, restore that much health to your hero. That's insane. That's the one that Crip was saying about comboing that with Chain Lightning. So you could board clear potentially and then heal yourself up to full, essentially, almost, depending on what you clear. Yeah, that's crazy. 5 mana 4/6 isn't even bad anyway. Let alone that combined. Yeah, Shaman's looking good. And Hammer of Twilight. 5 mana 4/2. Death Rattle, summon a 4/2 elemental. Holy shite. That's very, very good. Shamans are getting very well treated. Be great to see if you could find a way to make this guy work. Because +1/+1 to all your minions is insane. Especially since like you have minions that could have this. Pit Lord. Fizzlebang. Yeah, we know about him. He's not from this expansion. Cho'Gao. Ah, look at him. He's a big guy, isn't he? He's a bit more buff in the World of Warcraft universe as opposed to what he was like in Warcraft 2. A bit more tubby, but still powerful. In this, he's just like super fucking... He's like Goro from Mortal Kombat is what he reminds me of, except with 2 heads. Cho'Gao. So 7 mana, 7/7 Battlecry. The next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana. How do they justify how much... Oh, I see. So 6 mana would cost 6 health. Huh. That's pretty good, actually. Especially since there's definitely ways to get your health back up. But to keep this guy alive as well is going to be difficult. 7 health is good, but he could still be shot down quite easily. Okay. Well, it looks like I got all the warrior stuff, so I should be fine on warrior. Few missing here. I got the golden version of the Ancient Harbinger. This one I haven't seen. Shift Aceres. 1 mana, 1/1. Each turn this is in your hand. Transform it into a random minion. That's funny. How do they get that to stick with it once it turns into another minion? Once it turns into another minion, can it do it again? That's what I'm kind of curious about. It's cool though. Muckler, Tyrant of the Vale. Haven't got that one. This one looks new. 7 mana 4/6. Twin Emperor, Felcraw. Oh god. Twin Emperors, yeah. Anchorage, World of Warcraft Vanilla. That was the raid boss that really screwed over a lot of guilds, even trying to get to Cthulhu in the first place. So there's a taunt. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attacks, summon another Emperor. So for 7 mana you can get 2 4/6s. And it's got taunt. That's insane. I'm sure it can't be that hard to get Cthulhu to 10/10. There he is, Deathwing, Dragon Lord. 10 mana, 12/12. Put all dragons from your hand. So how's there 2 Deathwings? It's just a different type of Deathwing, I suppose. So the original Deathwing still exists. God, look at him. Big guy. They're all big guys, but this guy especially. Put your dragons from your hand. This is like near impossible to get to work though, unless you can trigger that Death Rattle. Which Rogue can do, can't they? They had a card that could do that. I think it's like a 6 mana card. And then you'd have to have a bunch of dragons. So you'd have to play Mill Rogue that had a bunch of dragons in it that weren't completely useless, because you'd still need all your gang up and your useful cards earlier on. And then combo this. Not easy. Yogg-Saron! Hope's End. So I didn't get this guy. I got 3 N'Zoths, but not 1 Yogg-Saron, so that's going to cost me 1,600 dust. I would have got 800 dust from the other 2 N'Zoths that I didn't need. He's got Battlecry, cast a random spell for each spell you've cast this game. I've seen so many people play this in ladder, and it's almost always gone against them. I'm just going to tell you that. They've actually won the game for me by playing this card. So he seems super, super cool, but most of the time he actually fucks them over. From my experience, I've seen 3 players at least, or 2 at least, and maybe a 3rd one. And each time they played it, I won the game. Because it just kept killing themselves. Y'Shaarj, Rage Unbound. Isn't that technically the most powerful old god? But anyway, 10 mana, 10/10. At the end of your turn, put a minion from your deck into the battlefield. So that's obviously good if you've got powerful minions left, but good luck with that. Otherwise it doesn't do much else. Still, it's threatening, without a doubt. There you go. So, that is Whispers of the Old God. It's pretty cool stuff. Looking forward to making some decks around that, and very much looking forward to a slower meta. Because if there's one thing I got real fed up with Hearthstone recently is just the fact that getting killed on turn 4 sucked big time. So hopefully no more turn 4 kills and some more thoughtful and clever games where you can actually outplay your opponent potentially. Although this is Hearthstone, where it is pretty much impossible to outplay someone because it's pretty much 99% based on luck. I know people are going to argue with me on that, but you can go screw yourself. For the vast majority of the time, you're going to have what you're going to have. You're going to play what you're going to have regardless, because you're going to be forced to do so with only so many cards. But if this game does slow down enough, people actually might be able to actually put some skill into it. So that's kind of what I'm after, really, because the current meta has been awful, like virtually zero skill. People can always go, oh yeah, there's skill in the game. There's not skill. Not when you're just fucking chucking whatever on the board, on tempo, on turn, because it's all valuable and it just goes for the face. That's a terrible, terrible version of skill, if that's what you think skill is. Alright, so less damage to the face, more to board control, more sort of fun engagements and interactions. That's what we want. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this pack opening. I'm sorry this video went on for so freaking long. I don't think anyone's going to watch it because it's like 2 hours long. I had no idea it was going to take me that bloody long, but it's done. And I'm going to have to play some Hearthstone at some point. Not now because I've got to go do some cooking, but I'll get around to it. And if I have any fun ventures, then maybe I'll show you them as well. So thanks again for watching. Take care. I'll see you later.